Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. Glad to have you here, whether you're a first timer, long timer, cross watcher. No difference. You're all welcome. You know that. Let me very quickly just kind of emphasize what makes this tarot reading different from all others. First of all, I do not prognosticate, I do not predict, and I focus strictly on you and your manifesting capacity. So every day I come up with an oracle card that kind of sets the mood. I look at it as the key frequency activator for your manifestation. As you move through life, you have to respond to things different ways, even though it might be very similar kinds of things, but you got to deal with them differently. And that's the way we deal with this tarot reading every day. It's to help you with the energetic keys that you need so that you can manifest more quickly and better. So it works much, much better for you. It all begins right here. Yeah, this is called the Hyper Shuffle. So there you go. There is the Tao daily reading for you, right? Manifestation, let's get to it. I said that there's a key frequency. The Oracle card kind of sets the stage, and we're talking about Yang or Yang energy. That means movement. That means not sitting off in the stands watching the action on the field. That means you're actually getting out into the field. And that's really what's being called for right now. It may not be necessarily going public or making a big ostentatious display, but it means get moving, get things taken care of. I find myself in my life right now, there are a lot of loose ends that I'm wrapping up, things that I've known or felt that I should have done something with, just to organize life, straighten life, make it better for the past year or two. And I'm finally getting to them now. Some are bigger than I originally intended. Some are smaller than I originally intended. But it's time to get moving. It's time to put the parts and pieces together, because when we had that Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction back a few days ago, and it's sticking around, the energy's sticking around for the rest of this year at least. That means get going. Take care of business. Stop the craziness. All it's do is making you crazy. These two cards together work very, very well, although not in your life. Yeah, that's for sure. Here you have the proverbial Five of Wands, and you have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is just that coulda, shoulda, woulda stuff. Doesn't have to happen at night, although many people say, well, it's that middle of the night stuff, and it could be, but it's just that gnawing at you. Doggone it, why didn't I? Why shouldn't I? And so you're battling yourself. That's what these two mean. You're worried so much and yet doing nothing except making a lot of noise. You need to change that. The Yang energy says you have to be productive. What you've been doing is self-destructive in many regards. Not in every, but in many regards. Agonizing, but accomplishing nothing. These two cards work together and emphasize the energy of Yang. You can perform magic in your life. You know that. I know you don't believe that, but you say it every day in one form or another, that you can make the magic in your life. You can. But not when you have the Nine of Swords and the Five of Wands working together. Because what you're doing is just spinning your wheels, accomplishing nothing. Although there's a lot of action, it's meaningless. And you now see that. And now you're beginning to understand that you really have to get down to stuff. And again, it doesn't have to be big. It may be big. It depends on your life situation. But you got to get down to the stuff of life. You got to get down to taking control of your life. You have to make the magic in your life. But you have all the tools. The last couple of years at least have given you more than enough tools to be able to move forward. But that's what the whole thing is about. Enough sitting on the sidelines. You got to get out into the field. And you know it, you feel it. Some area of your life, it's like, okay, that's enough. I've been observing, been taking notes. That's enough. I got to get to it. And again, you'll find out that once you get into whatever this thing is and whatever duties or tasks are required, some may be bigger, some may be smaller than you thought. But you got to move forward, because the Wheel of Fortune says that you have to move forward if you want to make that magic. All right, if you want to make that magic. And you got to break the Five of Wands and the Nine of Swords energy. That combination is just taking you nowhere. You have to be more like the King of Wands. You have to decide, I want enthusiasm, I want positivity. I want to have a positive impact on my life. Am I going to have the best life in the world? For me, yes. Am I going to be like the richest of the rich? Not necessarily, and I don't even know if I want to be anymore. I want to be happy. I want to be contented. I want to be safe. I want to be secure. I want to feel plugged into my life. That's what the King of Wands says. You can do what you have to do. And that's why the yang energy is so important. You have to get moving. Page of Pentacles says, value yourself, value your life. If you haven't taken on this project, you are diminishing your self-worth. Because you got to get out of the Five of Wands energy and the Nines of Swords energy. You got to get this conflict, this useless conflict out of your life. The only way that you're going to do it is to have a good, clear picture of what's important to you, why it's important, and to move. Use that yang energy. Go forward. And I suspect many of you are right now. Everybody is definitely feeling it, whether they're doing anything or not. Got the Knight of Wands, they bring enthusiasm, so that's what you're going after. And again, when I say enthusiasm, I'm talking about being plugged into your life. Getting up in the morning and not being ecstatic necessarily about it. Of course, at my age, I am ecstatic because it means I got another day. But for most people, it means just being enthusiastic, being positive. Here's another day. I can get a little bit more done. I can feel a little more connected. Because if anything, most of us feel disconnected from our lives. In fact, we were probably disconnected before this whole thing came up 2-3 years ago. All it did was show us that we were disconnected. Unpleasant, and we didn't do anything at first. Now it's time to do something. And to again reverberate that, Page of Swords. Remember, pages change the storyline. And that's really important. So we have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Page of Swords. It means you got to change your thinking about what's valuable. If you have not already, and if you have, now it's time to act on it. You have a different set of priorities, a different set of values. That's great. Now do something about it. That's what this is all about. Begin to do something about it. Yang energy. You know what that's going to take, though? Here's the vice versa card in reverse. Breaking that devil energy. And the devil is not some third entity. It's not some third party attacking you. The devil is self-bondage. It's self-addiction, self-restriction, despair. It's your weaker side. It's the stuff that you've been told all your life that you believed, and now you know it's baloney. It's not true. But are you doing anything about it? And sometimes that means thinking out of the box. My sister and I were having a discussion about economies and what we would need to do with the economy to move ahead in a positive, productive way for everybody, for all concerned. And right away she started to work out of the box that we're in right now. And I said, hey, Sue, we have to get out of that box, because if we don't get out of the box, the same people who have control now still have control, because we're playing their board game on their board. We got to change the boards. And she went, ooh. That's where you're at. And that's where the yang energy is. Change the game, change the board, change the rules. And even if you begin small, it doesn't make any difference. The yang or yang energy says you have to participate. It's your turn. Step up to the plate, take a swing. You could have hit it out of the park. You can do this. For the folks at YouTube, like, subscribe, share. Back tomorrow with a brand new manifesting reading. I hope you're here with me. If not, between now and the next time you and I have a chance to manifest tarot together. That's the point, together. I wish you peace and blessings.